There's 4,000 kids waiting for dental work. This is caused by sugary foods. Why not tax sugar instead?
What we've decided to do is ban sugary drinks in schools, particularly in primary schools, because we want your teeth to be better from a younger age, and we're focused on getting kids better dental treatment from a younger age as well. And, we want to make sure kids learn how to brush their teeth properly when they're younger. So we want to focus on those things because we think those are the things that are going to make the biggest difference to the dental health of our young New Zealanders. But what we also have to do? We've got to train more dentists because we're a bit short of dentists at the moment.
Last week we talked to two 12-year-olds raiding the vape shops. What would you say to them if you could speak them face to face?
I would say that ram raiding's no way to create a positive future for yourself. You've got to stop doing that, and you've got to focus on engaging and learning or doing something that's going to be positive for your future. The future could be really, really good if you have the right attitude. Doesn't matter what's going on in your life. If you've got the right attitude, you can do amazing things in the future.
What are you going to do to try and get the kids back to school?
Well, one of the things that we're really trying to do is make sure that school's an exciting place where kids want to go, because that's actually going to be the thing that's going to drive them to going to school more than anything else. But we also want to be working with their parents to make sure that they're getting them off to school in the mornings, because that's so important. Going to school is such a big part of making sure that they've got a good future ahead of them.
Prime Minister, dawn raids are still happening. How could your ministers not know about this?
So there was one dawn raid that happened. Ministers didn't know about it until after it had happened, and we've put a stop to it. So there aren't any more dawn raids happening now. That one shouldn't have happened. There was no real reason for that to happen. So we have put a stop to it, and we've got a full review of the policy happening at the moment.
Does this mean you're going to have to apologise again?
In terms of the individual person who was involved in that dawn raid, action's been taken to address the issue. That shouldn't have happened, but that's already been resolved, that issue.
With so much fake news going around, how is it important for kids watching the news?
It's really important that kids get informed and that they know what's going on in the world around them. The decisions that we make as politicians are actually going to have a massive impact on your future and the future of other Kiwi kids. So I think it's important that you know what's going on. And you know what the other thing is? You might not get to vote, but you certainly have a view and you're entitled to your view, and you should share that with adults who do get to vote.
What makes you really angry?
I think people deliberately misleading other people and giving them information that isn't true, that makes me quite angry. And, the other thing that makes me angry is I think we've got some big challenges ahead as a country around the environment, around tackling child poverty. And I think the people who ignore those things, they kind of make me angry.
Why haven't you banned vaping yet?
I think it's a good thing if adults are giving up smoking by taking up vaping, because vaping is less harmful than smoking. But I don't want to see young people taking up vaping. We're trying to do more and more to restrict it so that young people don't get into vaping.
40% of drugs are sold by gangs. Why not just ban gangs?
Ultimately, banning gangs would be almost impossible to do, because even if they didn't call themselves a gang, they'd find some other way of working with each other. And so what we have to do is focus on, first of all, reducing demand for drugs in the first place. That means better drug rehab programs so that people who do find themselves hooked on drugs can get out of it. But we're also focused on trying to stop the drugs coming into the country in the first place.
Last week, a man let off a shotgun at a school. He got 2 weeks in jail. Would you say you're soft on crime?
It's hard to comment on those sorts of things because the judges ultimately make the decisions about how long somebody gets in jail. What we're focused on doing is getting illegal firearms off the streets. So we want to make sure that firearms don't fall into the hands of people who want to do silly things with them.